Hi, this is Jonathan Benz, and I'd like to spend a few minutes talking to you from Chapter 6 in Live a Legacy. Chapter 6 is about developing rapport. Rapport is a funny little word that we get from the French. It's actually sort of nice sounding, I think. It comes from the French word rapporter, which means to carry back. And the idea is that when we have a meaningful interaction with someone, that when we leave them, we carry some sense of who they are, what they're about, and some sense of how we can connect with them in the next future interaction. It's more than just feeling good about them. It's knowing, did we connect emotionally, intellectually, on a feeling level to where when we see them again, we can say, hey, I can work with you on this project, or I'd like to spend more time talking with you. Developing rapport, I think we can learn to do it rather quickly. I do think it's maybe a little bit of a lost art today because of things like text messages, and we're go, go, go. We sort of live in a stressful world, and we're oftentimes given only a short amount of time to develop rapport with someone. So I have about 5 or 6 suggestions in Chapter 6 on how to develop rapport. One of them that I think is very important is remembering names. And sometimes that's hard. You know, I meet a lot of people during the week, or I work during the week. I will interact usually in private counseling sessions with about 20 people. With group works and other things, I probably interact on a meaningful level with about 60 different people a week. And I find it very helpful just to remember their name. And sometimes I associate their name with someone or with something. But usually when I meet them, I shake their hand, I pause, I look them in the eye because it endears the person to you. But it's also how I'm remembering who this person is. And then I try to encode their name in my brain, because when I remember their name 3 hours later, the next day, and I say, you know, hey Joe, how are you? Or hey Julie, how are you? Or whatever it is. It's amazing the reaction. People like, oh, like, you know who I am? But we all get that feeling. When somebody remembers my name, I go, oh wow, I must, be important to them. And I think that remembering a person's name and then knowing how to call them. So sometimes I'll say, how do you like to be called? It's no problem to say, do you like to be called by your nickname? And sometimes it feels awkward, but I think just saying, well, what are your, how do you like to be called? What do your friends call you? What does your family call you? What would you like me to call you is probably an even better option. I want to also talk to you about following up when you meet someone in a meaningful way. So by this I mean, when you meet somebody, especially in business or someone in networking, it's good, like if you get their card, to follow up with a little note within a day. A little email or a handwritten note if it requires that. Something that shows that you cared about the time that you had with them. And what I find good to do is just include something that was important to them about them, or that was important to the conversation, and highlight that and say, I appreciated it when you said this, or I appreciate this about you. It can be done in a way that's not overly flattering or placating, but it can be done in a very genuine kind of way. I find that who I know really does matter, and that sometimes meeting the right people is very, very crucial for me continuing on with my purpose and my mission in life. So I want to leave you with this idea that it does matter who you know, and it matters as well how you connect with them and how you relate to them in that process. I also find it's important to, and I say here, number 7, actually there are 7 different things you can do. One is exude an irresistible blend of confidence and humility. I try to avoid any kind of self-deprecating humor. So then for any way that I would put myself down to be humorous, that can be done in a genuine way, but you want to be careful with self-deprecating humor too much, because it can come across as you really don't like that about you. I think sometimes it's important to be confident, to be calm, not to downplay your strengths, not to exaggerate them either. People really want to associate with winners, and part of having a winning attitude is being okay with your strengths and your abilities, not having to showcase them too much, but just saying, hey, it is what it is, this is who I am, this is what I have to offer you, and this is what it's all about. So as you go through your day today and your week, I want you to think about some practical things that you can do to be more present with people. And I think that's really the key with developing rapport. You want to become more present with the people in your life. If you want to learn more about developing rapport and getting along well with others, check out my book. You can go to jonathanbenz.com for ordering information. It's available as well on amazon.com, barnesandnoble.com. You can get it for your Kindle, iPads, your e-readers, paperback, hardback, all that kind of stuff. Until next time, when we talk about Chapter 7, I wish you a fantastic day. Thanks.